Hello everyone, and this is going to be a video on Zelnaga Caverns, I believe is the name of this map. It's one of the new ladder maps. It's a two-player map, very small, may even be shorter run distance than Steeps of War. At least that's my feel. I don't know, I can't really say that for certain. This is against a Terran opponent, Clock, small c, capital L. Kind of like some, probably the name of a club. That's what they like to do for that. Yeah. And I selected this video just because my APM is typically around 35, and in TvT, since it's usually a slow match, my APM is usually around 30. But in this TvT, it gets so chaotic near the end, I actually have an APM average of 60. I've never seen my APM that high before, so that was kind of cool. But if nothing else, it just means there's a lot going on. So it may start a little slow, but I promise a strong ending. So I scout his base, get a good look around, see that he has one gas, one barracks, about what you would expect, and then I just leave my SCV at the bottom here. At the same time, he gets a good look at my base. I'm not sure if he caught that I throw down my second gas. Oops, what did I press? What does he do? Oh. No, I didn't see my second gas yet, but still pretty standard. He decided to wall off earlier. I don't think there's much point in that when I already got my scout in. I instead went for, rather than getting that second supply depot to wall off, I went for my orbital command first. This gets mules out a little bit quicker for me. And I'm throwing down a factory. My scout actually didn't see a second gas or see a factory, so I wasn't expecting him to be teching, just because, you know, I got a pretty late scout, but as soon as that scout died, he threw down both those buildings. So he is throwing down a tech lab for his starport, and he'll be throwing a starport on his, or throwing the starport on the tech lab for Banshees. But I am doing my 1-1-1 build, so I should be in okay shape. I got my starport coming up myself, and a reactor for it, so I can start pumping out Vikings. It shouldn't be too much of an issue. The one thing I did forget about was to build an engineering base, so I'm not going to have any missile turrets. At the same time, I'm starting my siege tank production. And my second command center. And this first Banshee is out. Now, one thing I like to do, just so I can save a scan, is I like to make one Viking with my starport before putting the reactor on it, and then just using that Viking to scout with. So I'm kind of setting him out, just looking for any hidden second expansion, and then I'll send him in to check out his base. Unfortunately, I'm moving my only anti-air away from my home base when there is a Banshee coming in. It looks like my Marine at the Zelnaga spotted it, but yeah, I wasn't paying attention. I didn't see actually what killed that Marine. So this Banshee is going to get some good kills here. It's up to 1 Marine kill and 4 SCVs. And almost as good as a kill is that I pulled everything off my line, which is pretty devastating actually. You lose a lot of minerals during that time. That's kind of bad luck on his part. So I'm moving my expansion, and I got my next 2 Vikings out, probably in time for this Banshee. Although it looks like I'm scouting the bottom and heading in for an harassment, so I've totally missed the fact that this Banshee was here. If I back up here, this is what I was talking about when you kill a unit. I mentioned this in a previous video. When you kill a unit, just start moving a random direction. Because this totally messed me up. See, from my view, I see him kill this Marine, and then he moves that direction. So I'm like, oh, he's probably going to check this Zelnaga. So I quickly send my Vikings out to that Zelnaga to intercept. Meanwhile, it was a total fake out. I don't even know if it was on purpose or not, but now he's in my base, and my Vikings are way out of position. So again, he's going to have a fairly successful Banshee here. He's going to get a couple SCV kills, and of course he's pulled all my Marines off the line. So I think both those Banshees paid for their cost pretty handily. And one thing on top of everything else that you get out of any sort of harassment is usually get a really good scout. So even if you fail, you at least get an idea of what your opponent's up to. So I think he got a little bit lucky that my Vikings just happened to be way out of position both times, but I think I'm going to get a little bit lucky here in return, so it's going to even out. So again, just concentrating on tanks and Vikings right now. Probably want to go a little heavier on tanks at the beginning if there's no sign of Vikings from your opponents, because you really only need air superiority, and if he has no Vikings, then you don't need many to own the air. Maybe just 4. But yeah, I'm definitely coming in here to harass and to scout. I want to see what he's up to. I see the starport spinning, so I like to stay around the starport so I can pick off whatever comes out of it. But with no defense here, I'm just going to land and start picking on scvs. So I do pop off a nice number of scvs there. 3, 4, 10 kills. So that was 8 scvs plus a medevac and a banshee. And this is pretty sweet as well. He's got like 3 mules, about half energy left, or half time duration left, and I take them all out. That's a good 400 or 500 minerals worth of mining I just stole from him. And all at the cost of only 1 Viking. So I think I'd definitely return his harassment and we should be back to even again. And we'll see what kind of view I got of his base. I saw they had 2 barracks, I only saw the 1 tech lab though. But anytime you see 2 barracks, you should be a little bit worried about some sort of bio rush. I mean, if it's very early game, it might be sort of some sort of Reaper, all-in Reaper thing, but at this point in the game, if he's got 2 barracks, it's probably for building some bio units. I really love the Zelnagas on this map. You get a lot of sight. It's pretty hard to sneak a drop in on me. You'd have to actually hug the side of the screen, or hug this side of the screen. Check out the income tab. We're pretty close in harvest account, 28 over 27. Check out the units. Yeah, he's definitely pretty even forced, except that he's got a ton of Marauders and I got a ton of Vikings. Now that I have moved out to my expansion, I am trying to move my siege line forward a bit and to get some defense up. This is actually a really tough base to defend with mech, just because it's so wide open. I mean, you can just come flooding in both these sides, and yeah. It may almost be worth it to just throw some supply depots up here just to kind of half wall off if you're reliant on tanks. So speed it up a touch. So he does have a Master Marauder account, and I'm not really aware of that. And I'm also not used to facing Marauders. I don't have a good feel for how much damage they actually do to mech, which is apparently a lot. They do have that bonus attack to armored, and then with stim packs as well, they do pretty sweet damage. Just throwing my Vikings around. The one thing I've hated in watching my old replays is that I have like all these Vikings on the map, and you still get the hidden expansion. I don't want to let that happen. Okay, so I did see these force moving out, passing the Zelnaga. So I kind of just send in my Vikings to get an idea of the composition. And while I'm here, actually, I'm able to pick up a few key units. There goes the Raven. And then take up both of his medevacs without losing a single unit. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. And I see the force moving in, but I'm like, I'm in okay shape here, I think. I got a good 4, 5 tanks, 6 tanks maybe. And then bunker, and then I can drop down all these Vikings to fight as well, and then they can pull in all my SCVs on for repairing control. So I do all those things. But yeah, Stim Marauders, wow, they just cut through mech like butter. Vikings and tanks, neither of them are actually really tough units. Vikings are weak because they're so versatile, and tanks are weak because they are such nice damage output. So with nothing really to protect them, I got cut through really bad there. And by the time repairing SCVs showed up, there was actually nothing left to repair, so I just kind of ran my SCVs into their death. So I am preparing to defend my ramp here. What you want to do is pull back your tanks from the ramp entrance, and then keep it walled off, and then this range, I can hit the Marauders without them hitting me. So I should be fine. Except, I never closed my front door. I totally let them in. They would have been complete fodder, but as it turns out, not so much. Stuff. So I'm forced to fight with my SCVs here. Yeah, I was going to charge that and like, no, maybe not. But yeah, too late of a decision. I lost most of my SCVs in that battle. Harvester counts, that's not updated. There's no way I have 15. 8 harvesters to 37. Not a good spot for me. I suppose I was a lot further behind this match than I actually was. Like, I knew obviously I was in trouble here, but I didn't think I was out of it. I wasn't even contemplating quitting yet, unless the pile of reinforcements was walking in the door now. So I am panicked, but at the same time I'm just trying to do some stuff. Like, I still landed my command center over here, and I'm still throwing tech labs on these starports. I decided, you know, I may as well just go straight to battlecruisers now. So my siege tank takes out the Marines, and then in unsiege mode it can make quick work of a weak siege tank. Alright, so it looks like my opponent wasn't really macroing up during that time. Oh, that's because he was making Thors. They take a while to build. So it looks like he's going Thors and Ravens, and I'm going to be getting whatever battlecruiser count I can, but I'm kind of broke at the moment, so... the only nice thing is I did store up a good amount of gas before I lost my expansion at least. Why are you out here? That was weird. So I think I can actually defend somewhat well with a battlecruiser and a ramp. You know, as long as I can get some SCV count up to start repairing. And battlecruisers do very well versus Thors, so that's one small advantage I have. Look at the income. 1300 over 300. And I guess... oh, he's getting medevacs. Looks like a Thor drop. I'm not sure what he's going to be using the Ravens for. I guess point defense drone. That does work against battlecruisers' attack, but keep in mind battlecruisers fire like very weak lasers very rapidly, so these point defense drones don't have much of an effect. Because, you know, it only stops maybe like 3 seconds of battlecruiser shooting, because they can fire off those 20 shots pretty fast with those rapid fire lasers.